How you doing? I'm haven't done a post in a while. Just been crazy busy and really felt like I was trying to like make stuff happen with things I was posting and just thinking a lot. And there's just a thing I've been thinking about that I wanted to share that it's really, man, it gets to me pretty bad when I think about it. But so I was thinking about this, and this is so interesting. So I would I would suggest that about every house you walk into in America right now, there's pictures on the walls. So if we walked into a house, we're going to see pictures on the walls of the house, in the rooms. We're going to see, and then on top of that, you think about the type of pictures that are in those houses, in any house. Pictures in my house, there's pictures of me and my kids on the beach. There's pictures of me and the kids fishing, or me fishing, holding up a walleye, or holding up. There's pictures of me with the deer that I had killed. There's pictures of me holding our kids when they were born. My wife, she's really big on pictures, and she's done a lot better than me at taking pictures. But we take pictures of like the good times, right? We take pictures of the places, when we're at the places we want to be. That's when we take pictures. You go on vacation, get pictures. We took a group to Lake Erie, and my wife's like, you got to get pictures. If you don't get pictures, I'm going to be mad. And so we always take pictures when we're in circumstances that are good, in places that we're having fun, and things that we want to be doing. And one thing I've learned throughout my life is that most things are actually opposite of what they seem. And I think this thought is no different than that. Most things that we call blessings are curses in God's world. Making more money we think is a blessing, but oftentimes it's a curse because it draws us away from our walk with God, and we become self-sufficient, and we don't need Him as much, and we're not as desperate because we kind of have our security in our bank account. Health is a blessing, but yet if we're not relying on God, and we're not trusting and thinking about eternity, but we're focused on now, and we're just living and having fun, then ultimately it can be, and I think a lot of times it is, a curse, because it keeps us from really seeing what the essence of life, based on the way God designed life to be and what He created us to be. And so I'll share a little story. I went I think it was last fall. My wife scheduled pictures for our family, and so it was on a Saturday, the day that you're supposed to like chill and relax and not do much. But it kind of snuck up on me, and I didn't want to go. I didn't want to go. And it was like an hour and 15-minute drive. We had to get all dressed up, and we drive and get there. It's in the fall. Leaves are starting to fall, and it's a season of fall time. And we get there, and we meet the photographer, and we go to the street, and it's like this long street in kind of like a park, and there's these huge trees down either side of the street, and the leaves are the changes in the leaves colors on the trees, and it was kind of windy, so the leaves were blowing. And so we did all these pictures on this street, that were standing on the street, and we're getting this background of these lines of trees behind us and these leaves blowing, and it was sunny out. It was a beautiful day. And so we went all the way there. We had these pictures. I'm smiling, and the whole time I'm thinking, man, I really would rather be home. And so we get done, and I'm driving home, sitting there thinking, and all of a sudden it's like God just showed me some amazing truth that I never would have thought of, and never had thought of before, never heard anyone mention. But I was thinking, it's like God saying, that's how life is. I take you to places you don't want to go because I need to get the picture. What is the picture? The picture is us, and I believe what the picture is the Bible talks about the fellowship of His sufferings, the places we don't want to go. I I think God takes us to those places in life for the picture. So I've been thinking lately, if there's pictures in every house in America, it's not uncommon. In fact, it would be weird to go into a house with a family and kids and walk through their house and not see a picture. I think people would notice that. I think if you did that, you'd be like, man, this is weird. You know, there's not a picture on the wall anywhere. I think it would be strange to us. So if that's the case, and I know I don't have a Bible verse for this, and it's okay because I'm being theoretical here, but let's assume it's possible, because we know Jesus said when he ascended back into heaven, he said, I go to prepare a place for you. If I go to prepare a place for you, I will come again, receive you unto myself, that where I am, there you may be also. So he's preparing a place for us. I believe he's preparing a dwelling place. Is it possible that that place that he's preparing, that he's putting pictures on the walls that we're going to look at forever? And if he is, and I think it's possible, what do you think those pictures would be of? Because I know what I think. I think they would be the pictures of when we were at the places that we didn't want to be. I think he would take pictures when we were in desperation, when we were in fear, and we were clinging to him, and we were maybe not even when we were on our knees, but rather when we were literally on our faces. I was thinking, like, if he's preparing a place for me, which he said he is, I can assume, and I don't expect it to be super nice, not as nice as some other people's that I know, but if he's preparing a place for me, and even if it's just a one-room shack, and I walk in, what pictures would be in that room? And I was thinking, okay, so one picture I know would be in that room would be the one time that I, at 27, was broken and desperate and helpless and hopeless and sinful, and actually to the point where I actually hated my own self. And I fell on my face. I cried out to him for salvation. And I cried I felt like my hardened heart was literally breaking, and it was coming out through my eyes, through my tears. I can still remember that moment. I was actually on my knees. I was in my bedroom, and I had my face in my wife's lap, and I was sobbing with the most painful and yet beautiful tears that I've ever had flow, ever. That picture would be there for sure, because that's the turning point in my life, and that's the very reason why I'll be there, is because of that. Again, I say one time, that one time that I gave my life to him, and I cried out to him, and I was desperate, and I was at the bottom. So I know that picture would be there. And then I was thinking, what other pictures would there be? What's interesting to think about is it wouldn't even be the pictures that I have. Okay, so for instance, I went on mission trips to Guatemala. I haven't been there in a while, but I went on multiple mission trips to Guatemala. And I was thinking about the fact that those pictures aren't going to be there, because those pictures have already received their reward, because I think in some ways did it for that. In my quest for it was scarred, or it was mixed with like religious activity. So therefore, those pictures I don't think have eternal value, because even though I went there and believed God wanted me there, I think a lot of it I was doing it for, maybe even for the pictures, but they weren't really the pictures that He would put on the wall, because I wanted to go. I enjoyed saying I'm going on a mission trip. I enjoyed changing my voicemail before I would leave and saying, "This is Eric Harrington with HDL. If you have any questions between the dates of September 16th and October 3rd, please call the office at this number, because I will be in Guatemala on the mission field." I kind of enjoyed that. So I think I already got my reward for it. I honestly do. I really do believe that. And I think a lot of people go to places, whether it's a homeless shelter or to serve these people over here, or to do this over here, and they actually do it for the picture, because when they get to the gates, when they get to the judgment, they plan to hold those pictures up and say, "Look, I'll give you the list. This is the things I did in your name," as the Bible says in Matthew 27. So those pictures won't be on the wall. It's only going to be those pictures, or those times when God took us somewhere that we absolutely didn't want to go, and He did it for the picture of Him, when we were a true picture of Jesus. And in order to be a picture of Jesus, it can't be when we're standing behind or beside a brand new car or a brand new big bad truck that you're so proud of, because that's not bringing God any glory. It can't be when we're on vacation, sitting in a beautiful, luxurious hotel on the beach, with the sun, and we're just living it up. It's not going to be those pictures. It's going to be the times in our life where God takes us somewhere that we don't want to go, we don't want to be there, but because, just like when we went to get those pictures with our family, the Bible talks about in Ecclesiastes how there's seasons of life. So in a season of life, He's going to take us to a place, and He's going to do it for that snapshot. Like, we have to go through all we go through to get there. It took me an hour and 15 minutes to drive to Bellefontaine to get pictures with my family. But in life, like, it might take weeks, months, it might take years to get to this place. And He might do all that for one picture. And then that picture He takes in the place that He's preparing for us forever, and He hangs it on the wall. And when we get to eternity and we realize that very little of what we did on this planet mattered, and very little of it had any value, or at least didn't have eternal value, and we walk into our house and we look at what pictures are there, I can tell you right now that we'll be forever, literally, grateful for those pictures, because those become beautiful, because we actually fellowshipped in His suffering, and we were a picture of Him and to the world. And it's a fascinating thing. I think it's possible that there's pictures. I don't know how many pictures I'm going to have in the place that He's preparing for me, and I don't expect it, like I said, to be very big. But I do know that they're not going to be the ones on my wall. They're not going to be the ones up in my living room or in our hallway. They're going to be the ones where there's tears involved, there's pain involved, there's fear involved, where we have nothing else but Him, when we have no one else but Him. And I think that it's possible that with all that's going on in the world, that we might be heading for some places that we don't want to go. But we need to remember that we have to go as His child, because He needs us to get there so that He can take this picture, because it's all about pictures. We're supposed to be a picture of Him, and I believe He takes pictures of us when we become like Him, and I don't think we do it nearly enough. but I do believe that he's taking pictures, or he's at least trying to get us to places where he can take pictures. And I know that forever in eternity, we will look at those pictures and be filled with joy, knowing that those times, whether they be little or many, those times, those moments in our life were real, and they made a difference. They affected people's lives for eternity. And I just wanted to throw that out there. And like I said, I've been thinking about it for weeks, and every time I think about it, I get goosebumps, because man, it really does get to me to think about. And it's a crazy thought. I know it's a crazy thought. And I've never thought it before, but I think it's a good thought. I really do believe it could bring about good things to think that, to see that there's meaning in the suffering, or the places that maybe we're in a place we don't want to be, and we're just holding tight onto all we know to hold on to, which is our faith and hope in Jesus. So just something I wanted to throw out there. And like I said, I hadn't posted in a while, but it's been a little crazy, and I just didn't want to just post for the sake of posting. And I finally had something that I felt like was worth throwing out there, and I'd love to hear your thoughts. And as I always say, these nails don't have reverse. We'll see you later.